Hello and welcome to another mini-sode of So Are the Days of Our Lives. I am your host, Olivia Willis. And today we are doing another character deep dive of one of the newer, but I think incredibly impactful characters on Days of Our Lives, Paulina Price. Let's dive in. Paulina Price debuted as a character on Days of Our Lives in March of 2021, played by the inimitable Jackée Harry. She arrived in Salem from Miami as Lonnie Price's glamorous and very wealthy aunt. She's the sister of Lonnie's mother, Tamara. The vibe was very much fur coats and statement necklaces. She also brought her daughter, Chanel, with her to Salem. So Paulina wanted to reconnect with Lonnie, but as a savvy businesswoman, she also wanted to connect with Mayor Abe Carver, Lonnie's long-lost father. Abe and Paulina clearly had a flirty vibe going from the start, but she also had real estate on the brain and needed Abe's help getting connections on the zoning board, obviously. Turns out Paulina wanted to demolish the beloved Horton Town Square and build in its place one of her big box stores, Price Town. Once everyone in town learned of Paulina's secret plan, they teamed up to fight the demolition, and eventually Paulina backed down. Despite the rocky start, Lonnie forgave Paulina, and Paulina and Abe fell in love and got engaged. But as the wedding approached, Paulina was growing anxious with a secret she'd been keeping for years. Paulina was not Lonnie's aunt. She was ... her mother. Paulina ended up asking Lonnie to be her matron of honor at the wedding, which pissed off her daughter Chanel so much that in the middle of the ceremony, Chanel revealed that Paulina was actually Lonnie's mother. Lonnie and Abe were both devastated, and the wedding was off because this obviously meant that Lonnie was not actually Abe's daughter, so the entire family kind of fell apart there for a second. Lonnie's actual biological father was a horrifically abusive man named Ray. When Paulina got pregnant with Lonnie, she knew she couldn't raise a child in that abusive relationship, so she gave Lonnie to her sister Tamara to raise, and Paulina fled and eventually married this man named George Dupree, who is Chanel's now deceased father. But now that the secret was out, obviously Ray arrived in Salem going by the name TR. He swore he'd changed and wanted to make amends and have Paulina and Lonnie back in his life. But one night, TR attacked Paulina and Lonnie shot him dead. Paulina tried to take the blame, but Lonnie pled guilty to the killing and went to prison. The whole ordeal did bring Paulina and Abe back together, and they finally got married on Juneteenth of 2022. Icons. On their journey of becoming a political dynasty, Paulina ran for governor while Abe ran for mayor. But chaos struck once again when Sloan Peterson came to town and swore revenge on Paulina and Chanel. Long story short, Chanel had had an affair with Sloan's father. Sloan's father had had an inappropriate sexual relationship with a student, Chanel. And when Sloan's mother confronted Chanel on a rooftop, naturally, she accidentally fell to her death. Sloan cried murder, but Paulina lied to give Chanel an alibi. Paulina won her gubernatorial election, but Sloan revealed the scandal at the election night press conference for the drama, and Paulina decided not to take office. But Sloan and her brother Colin were not done with Paulina yet. Colin tried to push Paulina off a rooftop to punish Chanel, but Talia Hunter, aka Doctor, thwarted his plan. That night, though, Colin had attacked Abe, who suffered from amnesia. Thus began the ordeal of Abe being kidnapped by Nurse Whitley, which is a story for another mini-sode. When Abe was saved, Paulina struggled to deal with his complete memory loss. She wanted to go back to the way things were, but Abe was uncomfortable with it, so he moved out, but she promised him that she'd be patient. While he recovered, though, he did decide he trusted Paulina the most to run the city, and he appointed her as interim mayor. But spoiler alert, they started dating and fell back in love, and eventually his memory was restored. Next, Paulina suffered a series of medical issues. After a thyroid cancer scare and a heart attack, she left chemo early to rescue Chanel, who went missing on her second honeymoon with Johnny DiMera. But little did Paulina know she was radioactive and exposed Chanel and her unborn child to radiation poisoning. Chanel did miscarry, sadly, and blamed Paulina until it became clear that radiation poisoning wasn't the cause of the miscarriage. Thank God. These days, Paulina continues to serve as mayor now that Abe is focusing on his new passion, executive producing a soap opera, Body and Soul. And she always supports Chanel through her ever-tumultuous relationship with Johnny DiMera. She also advocates for people of color in Salem, championing Black-owned businesses, and proudly selecting the first Black woman police commissioner in Salem. Jackée Harry's Paulina serves some of the greatest comedy, quips, heart, and capital D drama, and Salem and all its fans are so lucky to have her. That's my deep dive on Paulina Price. Be sure to tune in to full episode recaps coming on Thursdays now. Follow the podcast on Instagram at So Are The Days Podcast if you don't already. Follow me on TikTok at Days of Our Live. I will post a video that has some pretty sweet screenshots of all things Paulina. And we'll see you for the next episode. Bye-bye.